She will come back. 100%. I know you don't believe me right now. You're sitting there checking your phone every 10 minutes, wondering if she'll text, analyzing her last message for hidden meaning, asking yourself what you did wrong. You think she's moved on, that she's forgotten about you, that she's already talking to someone else. But here's something that might shock you. When a woman pulls away or ghosts you, there's a psychological mechanism that almost always brings her back. The key word here is almost always, and I'll explain the one exception in a minute. But first, you need to understand something critical. Her coming back is 100% predictable, but only if you do this one thing. And most men do the complete opposite, which is why they never see her again. If you've been chasing, texting, asking what's wrong, stop. Right now. Because I'm about to show you exactly why her return is inevitable when you understand female psychology, and more importantly, what triggers that moment when she realizes she made a mistake. Before we go further, let me clarify something. This video isn't about manipulation. It's not about playing games or getting revenge. I'm not here to teach you tricks to make her feel bad. What I'm about to share with you is pure psychology. The same psychology that drives human attraction, loss aversion, and relationship dynamics. Most dating advice out there tells you to chase harder, to prove your worth, to explain yourself. That's exactly what keeps you stuck. What I'm going to show you is what actually happens in a woman's mind when she pulls away, and more importantly, what happens when you respond the right way. This is about understanding female psychology so you can make better decisions. Not about manipulation. So if you're ready to understand the real mechanism behind why she'll come back, let's dig into exactly what's happening in her psychology right now. Here's what happens to most men when a woman goes cold. You start analyzing everything. You replay the last conversation trying to find the moment it went wrong. Was it something you said? Did you text too much? Not enough? You check your phone constantly, hoping for a notification. When it finally comes, you respond within seconds because you don't want her to think you're playing games. You ask if everything's okay. You try to fix whatever might be broken. You explain your intentions. You reassure her. And with every message, every explanation, every attempt to make things right, you're making it worse. Here's why. When you chase, you confirm exactly what she suspected, that you need her more than she needs you. Every text that goes unanswered, every explanation that gets a cold response, every apology that lands flat, it's all lowering your value in her eyes. Not because you're a bad person, but because of basic human psychology. We value what we have to work for. We chase what moves away from us. We take for granted what's always available. And right now, you're always available. You're proving that her attention is more valuable than yours, that her time matters more than yours, that she has the power, and you're just hoping she'll use it in your favor. This is the trap most men fall into, and it's exactly why she keeps pulling further away. I'm going to answer 3 questions. What's happening in her mind right now? What triggers her realization? And when she reaches back out? Let's start with her psychology. When a woman pulls away or starts ignoring you, there are 2 possibilities. She's either testing your reaction to see how you handle it, or she's genuinely lost interest. And here's the confusing part. Even she might not know which one it is yet. Let me explain what I mean. Women pull away for a few specific reasons, and understanding these is critical. The first reason is fear of vulnerability. When things start getting real, when emotions start developing, some women instinctively create distance to protect themselves. It's not about you, it's about their own emotional safety. They're asking themselves, can I trust this? Can I trust him? What if I open up and get hurt? The second reason is the comfort trap. You became too predictable, too available, too easy to reach. There was no challenge, no mystery, no reason for her to wonder about you. You were always there, always responding, always available. And when something is always available, it loses value. Basic human psychology. But here's what you need to understand. When she pulls away, she's at a crossroads. Part of her is testing to see if you chase like every other guy. Part of her is genuinely confused about what she feels. She's attracted to you, but something feels off. Maybe you're too eager. Maybe you're too available. Maybe she senses you need her more than she needs you. That kills attraction. Here's the secret. Her pullback is often unconscious. She's not plotting to test you. She's feeling uncertain, and her behavior reflects it. The dynamic feels wrong, even if she can't say why. Most men try to fix it by chasing harder. That's exactly what confirms her suspicion. Pay attention to this next part because it explains everything. When you chase, you prove that your attention is cheap and her attention is valuable. You prove that she has the power in the dynamic. You prove that you're reacting to her behavior instead of staying grounded in your own value. And women, whether they consciously realize it or not, are attracted to men who don't chase. Not because women want to be ignored, but because they want a man whose life and purpose is bigger than winning her attention. A man who has self-respect. A man who doesn't abandon his standards when she tests him. Now, here's how you know the difference between testing and genuine disinterest. If she ever felt real attraction toward you, if you ever had real chemistry, if she ever showed genuine interest, then it's almost always a test. Real disinterest is rare when there was once real attraction. What you're experiencing is her unconscious need to see if you're the man she thought you were, or if you're just another guy who loses his frame the moment she creates distance. And here's what most men don't realize. When you stop chasing, when you go completely silent, when you focus on yourself instead of winning her back, that's when everything changes in her mind. Because your silence does something her psychology wasn't prepared for. So here's what happens in her mind when you go completely silent. And I'm going to give you the timeline because this is predictable. Day 1 to 3. She notices your absence, but doesn't think much of it. She figures you're busy, or maybe you're giving her the space she seemed to want. But here's what's happening under the surface. She's checking. She's glancing at her phone to see if you texted. She's noticing that you haven't liked her posts. She's aware of your absence, even if she's not consciously dwelling on it yet. This is the beginning of the shift. Day 4 to 7. This is when it starts to bother her. The "wait, what?" moment hits. She was used to you being there, responding, engaging, and now you're not. At first, she might feel relief. Finally, some space. But that quickly turns into something else. Curiosity, confusion, a little bit of worry. Did she push you away? Did you lose interest? Are you talking to someone else? The cognitive dissonance kicks in. She remembers you were into her, and now suddenly you're not? That doesn't compute. Her brain needs to make sense of it. Here's the psychology. Humans hate unfinished business. When something doesn't have closure, it creates tension in our minds. You were interested, and now you're not. She needs to know why. Loss aversion kicks in. This is the same principle that makes you want something more when it's taken away. She didn't value your attention when it was freely given, but now that it's gone, suddenly it matters. The phantom text syndrome starts. She checks her phone thinking she heard a notification. She wonders if she missed your message. She might even reread your last conversation to see if she missed something. And here's where the real shift happens. The internal narrative changes. It goes from, "he was chasing me," to, "did I push him away?" From, "I have the power," to, "wait, does he even care anymore?" This is the power flip. You went from being the pursuer to being the person she's now thinking about. From the one seeking her validation to the one whose attention she suddenly realizes she took for granted. And all you did was stop giving that attention freely. Remember this timeline. 5 to 7 days is usually when this psychological shift begins. Some women take longer, some take less time, but the mechanism is always the same. Your absence creates value where your presence was destroying it. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This silence triggers a specific sequence of emotions in her. and understanding this sequence is critical. Her realization doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in 4 predictable stages. And if you understand these stages, you'll stop panicking and start trusting the process. Stage 1. Confusion. Days 1 to 3. Is he busy or did I mess up? She's not worried yet, just aware. She notices you're not around, but she's not emotionally invested in it. This is the calm before the shift. Stage 2. Concern. Days 4 to 7. I think I actually miss him. This is when your absence starts to matter. She realizes she got used to your presence, your attention, your energy. And now that it's gone, she feels it. She starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, if you're thinking about her. Remember when I said she was testing you in section 1? This is when she starts to realize you might have passed the test. Stage 3. Regret. Days 8 to 14. I took him for granted. This is the critical stage. The realization hits that she had something good and she let it slip away. She starts replaying moments where you showed interest, where you made effort, where you were present, and she starts feeling the weight of pushing you away. Her friends might be telling her to forget you and move on, but psychology doesn't work that way. The more they tell her to let go, the more her mind fixates on what she lost. Stage 4. Action. Days 14 and beyond. I need to reach out before I lose him completely. This is when the comeback happens. She can't take the uncertainty anymore. Her ego is in conflict with her fear. Pride says, don't reach out first, but fear says, if I don't reach out, I'll lose him forever. Eventually, fear wins, because loss aversion is one of the strongest psychological forces in human behavior. We hate losing things more than we enjoy gaining things. And you, by being silent, became something she's afraid of losing. Now here's the important part. The timeline varies. Some women reach stage 4 in 10 days. Some take 30 days. Some take 90. It depends on her personality, her pride, her past experiences, and how strong the initial attraction was. But if she felt any real attraction, this journey is inevitable. The psychology doesn't change. The only question is timing. And here's what guarantees it happens. Now you might be wondering, what if she doesn't reach out? What if I'm the exception? Let me explain why the guarantee holds and when it doesn't. If she felt real attraction toward you, the loss aversion mechanism will activate. This isn't opinion. This is fundamental human psychology. When we lose access to something we valued, our brain categorizes it as a loss. And humans are hardwired to avoid losses more strongly than we seek gains. This is why your silence creates urgency when your presence created comfort. You became a potential loss instead of a guaranteed option. But here's the exception. If she was never actually attracted to you in the first place, if she was just being polite, if she was killing time or seeking attention without real interest, then no contact won't bring her back because there was nothing real to begin with. How do you know the difference? Real attraction shows up in her behavior. She made time for you. She engaged in real conversations. She showed up. She was present. If those things happened, you're not dealing with fake interest. You're dealing with real interest that got derailed by bad dynamics. The validation principle explains why this works. Every woman's ego needs to know she still has access to you. When you chase, you prove she has that access. When you go silent, you remove that validation. And her ego can't handle it. This isn't about manipulation. It's about how human psychology works. We need to know we're still wanted, even by people we're not sure we want. Your silence removes that certainty, and her mind can't rest until she restores it. Here's the timeline certainty. Studies on loss aversion and relationship psychology show that 70% of comebacks happen within 2 weeks, 90% within 30 days, and the remaining within 90 days. Why the variation? Pride. Some women reach out quickly because they don't let ego get in the way. Some take longer because they're stubborn. But the psychological pressure builds the same way. The only difference is how long they can resist it. And here's why the 100% guarantee is real. If she felt attraction, the mechanism activates. If the mechanism activates, she will reach out. The only variable is timing. But you need to understand something critical. When she does reach out, there's one thing most men do that ruins everything, and I need you to be ready for it. During no contact, there are 4 non-negotiable rules. Break any of these and you reset the entire process. This is the hardest part, but it's also the most critical. Rule number 1, absolute radio silence. No texts, no calls, no liking her posts, no watching her stories, no accidental run-ins, no reaching out to her friends to ask about her. Complete silence. Every time you break this rule, you prove you're still chasing. You undo all the psychological work that your silence created. If you want her to come back, you have to be willing to let her go completely. Rule number 2, improve yourself visibly, but not for her. Hit the gym. Focus on your career. Spend time with friends. Pick up that hobby you've been putting off. Post on social media, but don't post for her. Post because you're living your life. Women notice when men move forward. They notice when you're thriving instead of waiting. And more importantly, you need to actually improve, not just fake it. Because when she does come back, you need to be a better version of yourself, or the same dynamics will repeat. Rule number 3, do not respond to breadcrumbs. She might send a casual hey or like one of your posts or comment something generic. These are tests. She's checking if you're still waiting for her. If you respond immediately, if you jump at the opportunity, you fail the test. You prove you were just waiting for permission to chase again. The rule is this: let her make a real move. A breadcrumb isn't a real move. A real move is a direct message that shows vulnerability, effort, or genuine interest. Hey is not a real move. I've been thinking about you and I miss talking to you is a real move. Learn the difference. Rule number 4, let her make the real move. When she reaches out with a real message, you can respond. But even then, don't be immediately available. Take your time. Hours, not days. Match her energy, don't exceed it. If she sends 2 sentences, send 2 sentences back. Don't pour your heart out. Don't explain where you've been. Stay grounded, stay calm, stay in your value. Because the moment you overinvest in the conversation, the moment you chase again, you lose the power dynamic you've built. These 4 rules are everything. Follow them, and she'll come back. Break them, and you'll be right back where you started. Now here's the truth that might make you uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. When she comes back, you might not want her anymore. And honestly, that's exactly how it should be. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you need her to come back, if you're sitting there desperately waiting and hoping, you're going to blow it when she finally reaches out, because you'll be too eager. You'll overinvest. You'll prove that you are just waiting for her permission to chase again, and she'll feel it. The same dynamics that killed the attraction in the first place will resurface, and you'll lose her again. Except this time, it'll be permanent. The real power isn't in making her come back. The real power is in becoming genuinely okay with either outcome, her coming back or you moving forward without her. Because here's the paradox. The man who can truly walk away is the one she chases. The man who doesn't need her comeback is the one who gets it. And the man who's desperate for her return is the one who loses it even when it happens. So let me ask you this. When you do no contact, are you doing it as a strategy to get her back? Or are you doing it to get yourself back? Because if it's just a strategy, you're still operating from neediness. You're still giving her the power. But if you're doing it to reclaim your self-respect, to rebuild your value, to focus on your purpose, then you've already won, whether she comes back or not. Maybe she shouldn't come back. Maybe you deserve better than someone who made you question your worth. Maybe the real win isn't her return. It's you becoming the kind of man who doesn't need it. Think about that. So let me ask you this. Has a woman ever come back after you went silent? Drop your story in the comments. How long did it take? What did she say when she finally reached out? Did you take her back, or had you already moved on? I read every single comment, and your experiences help other men who are going through the same thing right now. And if you're currently in no contact, let me know. How many days in are you? What's the hardest part? Are you following the rules, or are you tempted to break? Be honest. This community is here to support you, not judge you. Here's what I want you to remember. The 100% guarantee is real. But the real guarantee isn't that she'll come back. It's that you'll become stronger whether she does or not. You're not waiting for her. You're becoming the version of yourself who doesn't need to wait. That's the man she'll chase, and that's the man you deserve to be. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to other men who need it. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns on female psychology and relationship dynamics. And if you want to know exactly what to say when she does reach out, I've got a video on that. It's linked on screen right now. Check it out. Remember, you're not pathetic for wanting her back. You're strategic. You're learning the game. And by the time she comes back, you'll be the one choosing. That's power. That's the difference. Now go be that man.